Was the Thar Desert ever always a desert? If not, how long ago was it green? Okay, the Thar Desert. Let's take a look at the Thar Desert. For that, we should take a look at the map. So, where's the map? Here's the map. And here's the map. So let's take a look at where the Thar Desert is. It's in western India, mainly the Rajasthan Sindh region. Sindh currently part of Pakistan, but you know what I mean, right? Uh, so let this load. So you can see that there's this big region over here that's pretty arid, and there's not much green here, right in the middle of the screen. So that's essentially the Thar Desert. Not all of it is the sandy desert with sand dunes. Much of it is just arid landscape. But this region roughly is the Thar Desert region. Now the question that's been asked is: was this always a desert? And if not, how long ago? How long ago was it green? Uh, so I believe that the Thar Desert became this region became desertified about 20 or so thousand years ago, during the last glacial maximum. So we recently, in geological terms, have emerged out of an ice age. And the glacial maximum, the last one, which is the peak of the ice age, was about 20,000 years ago, roughly. And at that time, if you go north of the Himalayas, we have the large region, which is Tibet. And all of that was encased in sheet ice, all ice, just ice, hundreds of meters, maybe kilometers thick, possibly. So just north of the Himalayas, you had these gigantic ice sheets. And the ice sheets, what they do, first of all, the planet was very cold because of the ice age. And the ice sheets, they would reflect away sunlight. And because of that, for a very long period of time, there was no rainy season in India for tens of thousands of years. No rainy season. So, because there was no rainy season, this place became quite arid because of the lack of lots of rivers in this region. There was only one major river that flowed through this region for a long time, and that was the Saraswati. So the Saraswati used to flow through this, but apart from its river banks, everything in the region was pretty dry and arid. So I'm not sure when it was last green, but it was arid during the last ice age. And then about two and a half, about 2000 BC, 2500 BC, maybe around that time, the Saraswati started dried out to a large extent. And that caused further desertification of the Thar Desert region. And now the Saraswati only flows in northern India. It's called the Ghaggar Hakra River, and it kind of dries out or flows into the Rajasthan desert, the Thar desert, and disappears over there. So at some point in time, it may have created a lake kind of thing. With the drying of up of the river, as it was no longer able to reach the ocean. As you can see, here's the drainage channel of the Saraswati. It's still visible about 4 5,000 years after the river disappeared, but the drainage channel is still visible in the geological data. So, because the river was no longer able to reach the sea, it would have created a big lake-like structure where the Thar Desert currently lies, and that's what would have caused the emergence of the desert. For example, something similar happened in the Aral Sea. So, this is the Aral Sea region, and if you look at the map, what does it say? It no longer says the Aral Sea, but there used to be a big sea over here. And the Soviets, because of various agricultural and other practices, drainage practices, they kind of led to the destruction of the Aral Sea. So, a big giant inland lake, the Aral Sea, completely disappeared, and you have a desert there now, where the lake bed once lay. This entire region was a big giant lake until the 70s and 80s, 1970s, 1980s. So once the lake disappears, what's left behind is a desert. So something similar happened over here as well, the Thar Desert. So it wasn't always a desert. I'm not sure how long ago it was green, but I can tell you that after the demise or the drying out of the Saraswati in this region, the Thar Desert, this region became properly desertified and pretty arid. So that's the story of the Thar Desert. Interesting question to begin with.